Football is such a fantastic game, and up till 30 or 40 years ago, the only way you could ever see a player play was to go to the match. But now you can sit and watch television, you know, and you can watch non-stop football. And I've always thought that if you're a football club, you know, and like I was mentioning about Matt Busby, and his thoughts on what he would like the club to become. When you see what the club does now, is fantastic. Overseas, it's unbelievable. One of my jobs now, although I'm a director, I don't really call it a job. When I'm asked to go to a particular country for a special reason, maybe, and they all come and they tell me about unbelievable facts, you know. I mean, in China, I don't know, but we apparently have something like 25 million fans in China, you know, and they don't see them, they never see them play. We now have to really try to go. Not only that, we have in Asia, you know, football in Vietnam, in the Philippines, in Singapore, in Malaysia, all of these places. They switch on their televisions in the middle of the night to watch live football that's being shown here. If it's Champions League football and we're playing a Champions League match, and we're kicking off here at 7:45 every night, and they're having to stay awake till 4 or 5 in the morning to see these matches. And I always remember going to Hong Kong once, and I have a lot of friends in Hong Kong, and when a few years ago before we won the Champions League against Bayern Munich in Barcelona, we played a match in prior to that against Juventus, and Juventus went in front by 2 goals in the first 10 minutes, and I mean I was sitting in the stand and I was absolutely stunned, and I thought. All those people all over the world, they're feeling as miserable as me now. You know? But when I went back to Hong Kong, and I saw my pal, and I said how did you feel, you know, at the end of the match when we because we did eventually score 3 and we beat them 3-2, yeah. And that got us to the final in Barcelona, and I said, how did you go on? And he says, well, I was so pleased. He says, I couldn't resist. I had to tell somebody how I felt. And in Hong Kong, all you have is apartments. You don't have houses. And I said, he said, when I let it sink in, I thought, I don't care who I upset or who I wake up. And he went onto the balcony to shout, and he's shouting, Manchester United, this is bloody fantastic, you know. and I said, well, and what happened? Then he says, well, I had a look round, and every one of the apartments were doing the same thing.
Really?
Yeah, every apartment, and they all had to come out. They had to come out and share a little bit, you know. Maybe because it was indoors, they could actually feel a little bit of something in the distance, you know, that was their Man United, and I'm really proud. I mean, you have to be proud, because it's such a fantastic following. Wherever we go, they're always interested. I go to places and they're always telling me what they think that we should be doing, who we should be buying, who we should be selling, which is fine if you're a fan. But it's a bit foreboding, really. You know, when you think of that responsibility, and it's magic. You know. We went on tour last year, and we couldn't play in Indonesia because there was a bomb. I don't know why the bomb was put there, but nevertheless we had to cancel it, and we are having to work really hard to try and find a way that we can go back to Indonesia. And if we go back to Indonesia, then Malaysia want us to play, and the whole process starts again. But it's a great club to be with, you know. It is, because we have fantastic fans, we have great teams, great players, great manager, and I'm look at me. I don't even have to pay for my tickets. You know, I sit there every match and I'm thinking this is really nice. But I'm so proud of it. You know, I'm so proud. Whenever there's a little group like today and the teams have been on, and sometimes I have the chance to actually present the trophy. You know, and you can see when they come. You know, and they all want to look around. It's fantastic, but I'm aware of everything that happens overseas. To answer your question, it's very important to us, and one of the things that Matt Busby said, you know, is that if we have an explosion of fans because of the popularity of the club, you know, then we have to find the organisation to be able to handle it, and that's also been done a long time ago.